With Topspin 5's base game roster having people stressed, this may mean that the game is going to be heavily centered around a few key DLCs that may save the game. Today we're going to be making some predictions of what players may be in the DLCs and when they're going to be coming out. Let's check it out. Before we get into the nitty gritty, we've got to talk about why there's going to be DLCs in the game, as I feel like some people are a bit confused as why all the players will not be in the base game and why some players have been hidden, not announced. It all comes down to one reason.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
What's become common knowledge in the gaming industry is that DLCs or holding back characters brings in revenue. Even for 2K, game development is not cheap. Neither is securing the rights to high profile athletes, so staggering the release of top players through DLCs can possibly result in the development of Topspin paying for itself, if you know what I mean, which is a good thing, because therefore it will help them build a fund to include more players, develop the game engine and make the game better for everybody. And holding big names like maybe Sabalenka, Sinner, Rafa keeps fans interested for the entire span of the game. So Rafa, arguably one of the most loved players of all time, which makes his presence in any tennis game, not even Topspin, almost non-negotiable. So 2K would be insane if they were not doing everything they can to include him into the game. So will Nadal be in the game? If you want the short answer, I'd say yes. Looking at this chart here, it shows us the total video game appearances amongst the most popular tennis stars. As we can see here, the two of the biggest stars top this list, with Rafael Nadal being in a total of 17 tennis games throughout his career. So clearly, Rafa enjoys working with the gaming industry and suggests that it's more of a matter of when will he be in the game rather than if. So when could Rafa be in the game? If he's in the game, obviously I want him on launch with the base game, but I expect him to be in the first DLC around Roland Garros, because obviously he is the master of clay and would just make the most sense marketing wise, right? Because he just is that guy. So if he makes an appearance in the game, I'd expect there to be two models of him. One, how he looks and plays currently, and another one as how he's played and looked in the past, but I hope they get his stats right. Moving on then, when it comes to the greatest of all time, Novak Djokovic, things are a little bit different, not gonna lie.
It's a bit of a sticky one still.
If you're a returning viewer here, you probably know why, but I'll still get into it. Looking back at the graph, you may have spotted that Djokovic has appeared in the least amount of video games amongst other big stars, with only 5 appearances, dating all the way back to Grand Slam Tennis 2 in 2012. But why is this, you may ask? This quote from the popular tennis coach Patrick Mouratoglou read this: Novak Djokovic is the only tennis player at the top of the game who has refused to have his image in a video game because he believes it's not good for children, so he doesn't take the check. So you can't blame the guy, I suppose. He's had these views for over a decade now, so I think we just gotta run with it and then just accept our losses. However, things do get a little bit interesting, because if you remember, about 2 weeks ago, 2K hosted a massive launch event for Topspin at the Indian Wells, where loads of creators and celebrities were given the chance to play the game early. This led to a lot of gameplay leaks, roster leaks that was all on this channel, including the release date. But at this 2K event, guess who was spotted around the grounds? Mr. Novak. So this may indicate that he may have had a change of heart, or he was just lingering about. He saw the lights and was like, oh, let me have a look at what's going on in this place. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, because I have no idea. But if he was in the game, when and where should we expect him? I would say definitely around Wimbledon. He was the king of that court until a little Spanish boy vexed him a little bit. Okay, moving on then. We just spoke about the 2K event, so let's jump right back in it. At the 2K event, there was also 2 other stars playing the game and around the event. I have mentioned them before, Casper Ruud and Tsitsipas. I thought these 2 players are no-brainers that they're going to be in the game 100%. They're not going to be in the base game, but I feel like they're going to be included, probably not in DLCs, but in season passes, as 2K needs to sort of make the season pass worth it for players, right? So I feel like these 2 big top 15 players will be in the game. Another way we can predict who's going to be in DLCs, in season passes, is looking at 2K's Instagram and seeing what sort of players they have followed. This helped the community predict players like Ben Shelton, Naomi Osaka, Andy Murray, Taylor Fritz. I thought this is a really good source we need to be referring to often. I know I've covered this in a few videos prior to this, but I don't think I've given you guys a detailed list of all the players 2K have followed that have not been announced yet. Looking at this, we can see a lot of players that 2K have followed. Players like Sabalenka, Ons Jabeur, Sinner, Cam Norrie, John Isner, and Stan Wawrinka. Some of them may be in the game. We're going to be referring back to this a few times in the video. Moving on then, an interesting stat is that out of the top 15 ATP and WTA players, 25 out of 30 of them are missing from Topspin's base game, which is something. But who out of these players could make an appearance? Well, if we go off the players that 2K have followed, we have quite a few players. Casper Ruud and Tsitsipas, Alex de Minaur, Sabalenka, Ons Jabeur, Holger Rune, and also a big player that people want to see for sure, Yannick Sinner. These 5 to 6 players here will do a really good job of filling the gap. Okay, moving a step on. Another batch of players that 2K needs to consider is as in 1, rising stars, and 2, stars of the past. What I mean by stars of the past is players like Stan Wawrinka, Monfils, and my personal GOAT, the greatest of all time, Kei Nishikori.
Oh, can you believe that?
Bringing these players into the game will add so much, as it's a great way to honor these greats that were often overshadowed by the big three. One thing I've liked that they've done is include Andy Murray. I didn't expect him to be in the game, or maybe he would have been in the game in Wimbledon DLC, but I'm really impressed that they put him in the game no matter how he looks. But again, looking back at Instagram, there are some past stars that 2K may add. These are players like John Isner, Monfils, Wawrinka. As to when they'll be in, I think this is a bit clearer. Wawrinka and Monfils would be great additions with Nadal in that clay DLC. As for John Isner, he is a proud American, so he could be added around the US Open. On the flip side then, I feel like a Stars of the Future sort of DLC could make an appearance. This will keep the game fresh, and say for some of these players have a breakout season, it could even add to the popularity of the game. Taking another look at Instagram, we have players like Luka Nadi, Felix Aliassime. Okay, let's do some honorable mentions. I'm just gonna throw out some names out there that could be in there. First off, for the Wimbledon DLC, we hopefully should see some UK-based players in there. 2K have also followed Cam Norrie and Katie Bolter, so those could be nice season pass additions around Wimbledon time, along with some future stars like Jack Draper as well. Also, I'd like to include some stars from Asia as well, as I don't think there's any right now, but I could be wrong. So players like, of course, Kei Nishikori, Zhang Zhucheng, Nishikawa, who was recently added to tie-break tennis, I believe. They could also add something to the game, add more diversity. But yeah, down in the comment section, also put some names in there that you'd want to see in a Topspin 2K DLC or just in the game in general. It could be anybody, it could be somebody unknown, somebody known, does not matter. But yeah, that basically rounds off the video. I hope it's not too long. I'll probably cut up some bits here and there. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope some of these players I've said today will be in the game. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all of that if you've enjoyed your time. And yeah, man, keep it real, keep it positive, and we'll catch you actually on Tuesday, come right back here for whatever's gonna be released. Probably a career mode trailer or DLCs, who knows. But yeah, man, bro, I've never spoken so much in my life, holy shit.